Hi all, this is Nick from Elite Outdoor Fitness. This video is about the myths behind salt. As I was growing up, we were vegetarians and we also just never put any salt in our food. And I think my mum and dad were like holding us back to a certain extent. The amount of creatine that I didn't have and salts, etc. when I was doing loads of fairs and when I was young and I was cutting around and that probably held me back. Imagine what I could have done if I'd got all that right. Anyway, as I've grown older and I'm a bit more of a trained athlete, I've understood the importance of salts. Most of you have watched all my videos reference cramps and stuff like that, and it's not all about salts, but that does play or potentially play a huge part in why your performance is lacking and you also get cramps in training. Now, the average person, if I remember rightly, needs about 5 to 6 grams of salt per day, and that's not sodium. Sodium, I think, is just under half of that really in the salts. Okay, and most salts, they got a bit of iodine in, which is good for regulating certain things in your hormones and that's normal table salt. And then you've got Himalayan pink salt, which kind of has less iodine but has lots more minerals, etc. So generally speaking, the average person needs about 5 or 6 grams of salt, but they consume about 9 or 10 grams of salt, and they normally consume that in the wrong fashion. In other words, from processed and shite foods. Okay, so when you're an athlete, and when I say athlete, you're training, and you're training between 4 and 5 times a week, and you're getting good balanced load in that training. So maybe you're touching upon maybe a bit of VO2 max threshold, so you're starting to work hard in some of your sessions. And for the most part, people don't have balance in their training. They're normally just doing threshold or efficient work all the time. Then you're going to need more salt, and it's nearly twice as much salt. So normal average person is about 6 grams, 5 or 6 grams, and an athlete probably needs about 8 to 9 grams of salt. Okay, and so that's about, I think off the top of my head, about 4 grams of sodium, 3 to 4 grams of sodium, because it's about just under half the sodium that's in salt. So if you're adding cold and sauna treatments into that as well, then it might even top up a little bit more. So how can you consume the salt? Well, first of all, cracked Himalayan salt is a good one. You can put it on your food every day, and you can also put it in your protein shakes. And I've got a good protein shakes for people that are getting a bit older and for inflammation and things like that, and to increase your performance. And you can also kind of sip it with water if you can manage that. I can't, so I have it in my protein shakes, and I also have it on my food as well. You can also take electrolyte tablets as well, and that's going to help you. But essentially, any salt is what you need. You need the sodium in it to stop cramps and to make sure that your performance is at the right level. For the most part, people do not have enough salt in their diet, and so therefore when they're training hard, their performance is left, they have headaches, they don't sleep very well, and they start getting cramps in training. So it's really important to make sure that you get these salts correct. Any more information, come and join us at Elite Outdoor Fitness.